Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. Let's get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are mixed this morning, with S&P futures down 0.35%, Dow futures down 0.41%, and NASDAQ futures up 0.02%. U.S. futures and the European market alike took a hit today after Chancellor Angela Merkel put Germany into hard lockdown over Easter to try to defuse another wave of coronavirus infections. Companies that were benefiting by the reopening trade, like Carnival and Trip Advisor, are declining today in pre-market amid signs that progress against the pandemic is stalling as global deaths and cases continue to rise. The dollar is strengthening while the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield is sliding for a second day ahead of this week's offerings, which include a 7-year note, a maturity that fared poorly in the last month's auction. Elsewhere in markets, WTI crude oil dropped below $60 a barrel on concerns about the near-term demand outlook. On a positive note, the stabilization in bond yields is providing some relief against fear that heavy U.S. spending could spark inflation and force tighter central bank policy. As we focused on Fed Chairman Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, who will be speaking on the pandemic response today. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all morning, and they're continue to be trading lower. You see them down 0.34%. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to swing around. And the concerns today is really about the economic recovery. Is it going to be happening? Is it going to happen as fast as people would like? You also have issues over in Europe. I mean, the European countries are serious when they're introducing their new lockdown measurements. And this is really a third wave of the coronavirus infections. And let's not forget that news on AstraZeneca, ticker AZN. I mean, the stock's down a couple percent this morning in pre-market after, that independent monitoring board told U.S. health officials that its data from its COVID vaccine trial may have been old data. That's not good. But the real key catalyst today is going to be the Fed, is going to be Jerome Powell from the Fed and Janet Yellen from the Treasury Department appearing before Congress today. They're going to be talking about relief efforts. Janet Yellen's going to be likely to be pushing for more government spending. These stocks like Vulcan Materials, VMC, Victor, Michael, Charlie, you could see some push higher because they're one of the companies that are going to benefit from increased government spending on infrastructure. So, listen to what they say and watch how stocks react. After the bell today, we got earnings report due out from Adobe. They typically do pretty good on their earnings results. And the one I'm scared about is GameStop, ticker GME. This is their first earnings report since all the craziness started with their stock. I really don't know what to expect, but ticker ADBE and GME are releasing after the close today.
Yeah, let's get right into that. Let's talk about earnings to watch today. What's going on with GameStop and Adobe, Bill?
Well, GameStop is now priced for a 21% move. That's $42 when they release their earnings this afternoon. Adobe, they're priced for a 3.4% move when they release earnings. That's about $15, $15.50. Couple safer ones are At Home. That's ticker HOME. This is home decor. It's a retail outlet. Their earnings are coming out this afternoon. They're priced for a 14% move or $4.60. And then there's Steelcase, which has always, been a good performer. They're priced for a 10.75% move when they release earnings this afternoon.
How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
You got a number of them coming out. Winnebago, WGO, KB Homes, KBH. Ticker RH, which is Restoration Hardware. These guys are priced for 12% move when they release earnings on tomorrow on the 24th. So these are the companies that I see releasing tomorrow that I'm putting together a game plan for.
Well, moving into our economic reports, Bill, what type of reports we seen today?
Well, I mean, it's pretty packed. I mean, we do have the Johnson Red Book on retail sales coming out at 8:55. The key one is the 10 a.m. new home sales report. Yesterday's homes report was not very good, so we're going to see if this gives you a little shot in the arm for the home builders. And then, of course, at 4:30, you have that all-important API stockpiles report. This is the first report of the week for oil. We'll see if it's bearish or bullish, and that may really help set the trend for oil this week. The calendar is starting to get packed with Fed speak. 9 a.m., St. Louis Fed Bank President James Bullard. 10:10, Atlanta Fed Bank President Bostic. At 11 a.m., Richmond Fed Bank President Barkin. At noon, you have the Fed Chairman Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen speaking in front of Congress. 1:25, Fed Governor Laurel Brainard, and at 2:45, New York Fed Bank President John Williams will be speaking. They're all going to be trying to craft and deliver the same message that additional economic stimulus is needed. They're going to say that the economy's on good track and that they're okay with inflation. Some of them will likely touch on the rising yields, and they're going to be saying that, hey, rising yields is a sign of economic prosperity in the future. So keep an eye on that. Let's see what they say when these guys are speaking today.
Well, moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one you heard about a little bit earlier, AstraZeneca, ticker AZN. Just like we heard last night, word got out from an independent monitoring board, the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases, which expressed concerns that AstraZeneca may have given outdated vaccine data and thus an incomplete view of the shot's efficacy. AstraZeneca's share price is down over 2.3% in pre-market on that news. One on Mogo, ticker MOGO. This is a digital payment and financial technology company that has set to acquire Mocha Financial, which is a similar type of company over in Canada. It's an all-stock share transaction that will raise the company's member base by 40%. So on this news, Mogo's share price is up 8.55% in pre-market. One on Oramed, ticker ORMP. Oramed has announced that its single-dose oral COVID-19 vaccine candidate's pilot animal study proved effective. Oramed's share price is up 24.28% in pre-market. One on Chipotle, ticker CMG. Chipotle announced that it will continue its expansion into Canada with a new location in British Columbia that is scheduled to open on March 30th. Chipotle share price is down 0.09% in pre-market. One on CureVac, ticker CVAC. CureVac announced the publication of preclinical data demonstrating that their COVID-19 vaccine candidate protects against the newest South African variant strain. CureVac share price is up 2.34% in pre-market. Lastly, for me, Take-Two, ticker TTWO, has acquired Hookbang to become the wholly owned developer of the NBA 2K video game franchise. Take-Two share price is up 0.3% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Well, Shane, I break my news down into specific sector alerts and specific event alerts. When it starts to populate, I see those news stories first, and that's a huge benefit for me. My FANG alert went off on Amazon. Apparently, Garmin, ticker GRMN, Grace Richard, Nancy Mary, they're expanding their strategic relationship with Amazon. Apparently, they're integrating the Alexa assistant into Garmin's in-vehicle system. So that's kind of interesting. I can see that, having a big benefit for both companies. Netflix, NFLX, Nancy Frank Larry X-Ray, Argus issued a buy recommendation with a $650 price target this morning. Apple's HomePod Mini has sensors that may be, able to revive their smart home push. These sensors will allow them to control other devices within the home, thermostats, your oven, your TV, so on and so forth. But this is interesting on Amazon as well. They're looking to cut their stake in the British food delivery company Deliveroo. Remember, they currently have a 15.8% stake in the company. They're looking to drop it down to 11.5 ahead of the IPO. So Amazon is selling Deliveroo about 5% of what the shares of what they own ahead of the IPO. That's very interesting to me. Then I have my Dow 30 alert that I'm watching constantly. Microsoft, these guys are said to be in talks to acquire Discord, and the price tag is over 10 billion. Discord's like an online room of chat rooms, very popular. I do use it myself sometimes, and I could see why it makes sense for Microsoft to actually buy this company. Let's take a look at Merck. That's ticker MRK. Apparently, the FDA approved Merck's, a new drug for carcinoma. And in terms of Boeing, that's ticker BA. Boeing secured a $5.28 billion 2-year line of revolving credit. So that's a positive for Boeing. And you can see the share price reacting off of that news. My FDA alert went off on Pfizer this morning. The CEO came out yesterday and he said that the COVID-19 partnerships, they've really been, valuable to them, and they provided them the foundation to tackle other diseases by themselves. So this could actually be really good news for Pfizer. Merck came out and they said that its drug Keterra received FDA approval for treating certain types of throat cancers. Lilly, ticker LLY, Larry Yellow. The FDA panel is set to discuss the Lilly and Pfizer treatment tomorrow. So they're going to be making a news announcement on an FDA ruling on on a drug from a combination of Lilly and Pfizer tomorrow. It'll probably happen after the close. In terms of secondaries, I see Viacom. Viacom's looking to raise $2 billion from an offering of its Class B common shares and another $1 billion from mandatory convertible preferred stock offering. Oracle, ticker ORCL, they're announced a $15 billion notes offering. JetBlue, ticker JBLU, they're announcing a $650 million convertible senior notes offering. In terms of events today, Roche Holdings, that's ticker RHHBY, Richard Harry Boy Yellow. They're holding an analyst and investors day today. Borg Warner, that's ticker BWA, Boy William Apple. They're holding an investors day today that is scheduled to start at 9 a.m. And Intel, this is very interesting. Intel is holding a business news conference call today at 5 p.m. The CEO is said to be going to be providing a business news update on the new era of innovation and technology leadership at Intel. So, watch for the shares to, be a little weak towards the close and bounce in the aftermarket when this news events start, when the news events starting to occur. And, the other things I just want to say is I see that Citibank opened up a lot of negative catalyst watch this morning. They did one on Air France, that's ticker AFLYY, Apple Frank Larry Yellow. It did one on Lufthansa, that's DLAKY, David Larry Apple Kilo Yellow. So they're really putting some pressure on some of these European airlines. So it's something to watch. And the reason behind it is likely the shutdown in front of Easter in Germany and England. So this is having a negative effect on travel stocks, and you see travel stocks across the board are taking a hit today. Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm seeing today, Shane.
Well, let's go ahead and move into our Trade Talk picks for today. I'm picking one that I spoke about earlier, Oramed, ticker ORMP, off of the announcement that its single-dose oral COVID-19 vaccine candidate had this pilot study, animal study that proved effective. It's up quite a bit so far, and pre-market is up. It's up over 24%. However, this is a very low price stock. It's at $12.50 to be up that high, right? As opposed to the $10 that it started at. So it's not super high. And I think that if we get in under $12, if there's a dip today, let's say there's a dip at somewhere between 10 and 11 a.m., right? If we get in at $12 or $11.50 maybe, I think that this is one that we can see a rise in again. Why? Because like we saw, AstraZeneca took a tumble today after finding out about how the data from its human trial were actually old news, and it's still, a vaccine people aren't really feeling too comfortable about. And take also into account that even doctors are saying now that they wish there was a fourth option. And so Oramed might be able to fill that goal at some point. And the fact that it's oral and you don't have to get an injection, that's something that's very attractive to a lot of people. So this is one I could definitely see the value in, and I want to get into this one under $12. What's your pick looking like today, Bill?
Just to comment on what you're saying, like when a stock is down on the day, like AstraZeneca, and it's down hard, these stocks can typically continue to trade lower throughout the day, which is why you don't want to be thrown in there trying to buy it when you think it's low at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. No, it's going to continue to trade lower. The trend is your friend. You follow the momentum, from the beginning of the day on some of these big moves like that, and don't try and fight it. You'll just wind up losing. Which is why it kind of makes sense what you're saying is that fourth option for a COVID play. But my pick today is Home, ticker HOME. This is at home retailer, home decor, things like that. That's some of the retail outlets. This is an earnings play. Now, this stock is priced for a 14% move when earnings are released. That's $4.50. I'm looking at the option volume. It looks very strong. But the key to what I saw in doing my research is on January 8th, the CEO of this company came out and said, fourth quarter comps for both our everyday and seasonal assortments are playing out ahead of our expectations. There you go. I mean, he's telling you that things look good, that they're looking to come in with a good numbers this afternoon. So, the stock's at 33.10 to 33.50. If you can pick some up around the $33 range, if you get some in under 33, that would be golden. But I think this is going to be a winner. And my stock of the day today is Home, HOME.
Well, moving into what's hot off the press, the news that's hitting the tape as we speak. Let's look at our newswire alerts and let's see all these headlines streaming in. And Bill, which are the ones that we should be letting traders know about?
Well, I see that 3M got Credit Suisse came out and they raised their price target on 3M to 202 from 197.
One on Wabtec, ticker WAB. It's acquiring Nordco for $400 million in cash.
There's a press release out here from Apple saying North America is projected to be the leading region for the global wearable sleep devices. That's on Apple AAPL.
Windtree, ticker WINT, announced a price of $30 million public offering.
I see a headline out here. Netflix is rising. Well, yeah, as I said earlier, they got a price target upgrade. Sunrun is shining. Goldman Sachs just upgraded Sunrun to a buy. So those are some interesting stocks to watch this morning. Here's one that came out about 10 minutes ago. The Dallas's Fed, Robert Kaplan. This is the Fed bank president from Dallas of the Federal Reserve. He suspects that the Fed could start to hike rates in 2022. That's Fed bank president of Dallas Fed bank president Robert Kaplan.
One from Hoth Therapeutics, ticker HOTH. The company announced positive results for their novel COVID-19 therapeutic. Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing today.
Same here. So that's going to do it for what's hot off the press. Of course, keep in mind, traders, that you can receive the same breaking stories that we do by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Monday. I had AstraZeneca, ticker AZN. It opened at $49.98 and continually climbed higher, all the way up to $51.20 at the close for a 2.44% gain. Second pick was Winnebago, ticker WGO. This was one that we said wait for after the open because the price was going to drop, and certainly it did. It dropped as low as under $79 in the mid to late morning before rising back up to $80.87. There was about a 2.37% gain to be made off of this. However, we were happy just getting in under $82, to be honest. That was what we talked about yesterday. But the real gains are likely to come after the earnings come out tomorrow. So I would hold on to this one if you still have it. Bill, how'd your pick end up doing?
Listen, Shane, I did Lilly yesterday. That's ticker LLY, Larry Yellow. Stock opened up at 184.05, and it hit a high of the day of 185.91. Now, that easily beats both benchmarks of $1 or 1%. You look at it this morning, the stock's trading 186.20. It's up again. So yeah, Lilly, it just got so beaten down last week that it was destined to turn around, and that was why it was my stock of the day, and it beat both benchmarks. So it was a good call yesterday. Shares of Lilly LLY.
Good calls all around. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.